FCS parents, hope you guys have had a great week. We are now 2 weeks into the school year and things are starting to settle in a little bit more than they have last week. At the beginning of any school year, things are always a little topsy-turvy as everybody's getting used to being back on campus. Kids that have been out of school all summer are kind of slowly rolling back into the swing of things. And this year, on top of that, we've got a number of new students who haven't been in a classroom in a year and a half. So there's a lot of adjusting going on for a lot of different people. So kind of the acclimation process is probably going to be a little bit longer this year than normal, but things are starting to settle in. Things are looking pretty good. I know that in the upper grades, we're already deep into our curriculum. In fact, in a couple of my classes, students already have their first tests coming up next week. So things are definitely progressing and rolling along. And I know in the younger classes, they're starting to get into their curriculum. I know even kindergarten next week will start getting into their curriculum. They spent the first few weeks kind of getting kids acclimated and adjusting and letting them know the expectations. But next week, they're going to start curriculum, so things will start moving down there as well. And again, things are going great here on campus, and it's just exciting to have kids back here to see learning taking place in the classroom and everything that's going on here on campus. I do want to remind parents, if your child has any symptoms of anything at all, please make sure they stay at home. Besides just COVID, even the cold and the flu, we want to make sure we're not spreading those things around. If your child has any symptoms of anything, do not give them medication and send them to school. If they have any sort of symptoms, please make sure they stay home. We want to keep everybody as safe as possible. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff going on. I know that there are a lot of school districts, a lot of schools that have already had to close down after being open. I know of, personally, I know several Christian schools that have had to do that in Northern California because COVID numbers have gone up. They've had a ton of kids getting sick, not just with COVID, but with colds and flus already this school year. We want to keep everybody as safe as possible. The way to do that is everybody cooperating and everybody following the guidelines. Make sure if your child has any symptoms, again, do not give them medication and send them to school. They need to stay home. If we see symptoms here at school, we're going to send them home. And we don't want people getting sick. We want people to be as healthy as possible. And the way we do that is by everybody following the guidelines that are set before us and making sure we're doing everything we're supposed to. All right? One more big thing this week, and that is the beach field trip. That is tomorrow. Again, we are all meeting at the beach. We're not meeting at the school. We're meeting at the beach at 10 a.m. because parents are driving their own kids. And parents, please remember, if your kids and you and your family is not going to the beach, there's no school tomorrow for kindergarten through 12th grade. That's because all the staff will be at the beach. Preschool will be here as normal. Preschool will be a normal day, but kindergarten through 12th grade, if your family and your child is not going to the beach, there is no school. Again, there will be no school staff here because we'll all be at the beach. It's going to be a fun time at the beach. Again, we're hoping everybody gets up there by 10 a.m. We've got the sandcastle competition. I know several classrooms have already planned out what they're doing for the sandcastle competition. It gets very competitive. We do have a bucket, a golden bucket that goes to the winning homeroom. So teachers get pretty competitive over this as well because they all want that bucket in their homeroom. So by 10 o'clock, kids are out there. Those sandcastles will start right away once kids get out there. I know teachers are planning to get those started as soon as possible. And then the judging for the sandcastle competition is at noon. Obviously, at that point, everybody's breaking out their lunches and hanging out and relaxing. We'll play on the beach. We'll usually take a group picture as an entire group, families, kids, everybody together. We'll take a group picture at the beach. Then we'll hang out there till about 2 o'clock or so, and then we'll start heading home. Unless you plan on staying much later, so you miss the traffic altogether. But if you leave after 2 o'clock, you're probably going to run into some serious traffic. Not to say you won't run into traffic even if you leave at 2. But the later you leave, the worse it gets. Unless you wait till like 7 o'clock to head home, and then you're usually pretty good there as well, which some families do. Some families stay there all afternoon and just hang out, and then finally leave later in the afternoon to come home. But whatever you're doing, just make sure that you're aware of the traffic situation tomorrow, because it is a Friday and traffic gets pretty bad. And all the routes, I know like 5 different routes from here to Dillon Beach, and they all get backed up in one way or another. But again, we're gonna have a great time tomorrow. I know kids are bringing tools to make their sandcastles and all that sort of thing. Also want to remind you, it is not a water field trip. So ankle deep only in the water at the ocean. We do not want kids going any deeper than that. There are some tides that can pull some kids out, and we don't want that to take place. Parents, please make sure your kids are not playing in the water unless it's only ankle deep. That's as far as they're allowed to go. All right, I'm looking forward to a great field trip tomorrow. Hopefully I get to see a lot of you on the field trip tomorrow out at Dillon Beach, and we'll be able to hang out, build some sandcastles, eat some lunch, take some pictures, have a good time, maybe toss a football or a frisbee around and things like that. But it'll be a great time. And of course we got other things coming down the road as well, but the important thing is we've got kids in the classrooms. We love having kids in the classroom. Again, please make sure we're staying safe, make sure we're following all the guidelines, make sure we're keeping everybody as healthy as possible here on campus, and we'll make it a very successful school year. Hope to see you guys tomorrow. God bless.